Our headlines for tonight: fire hits DPWH office in Quezon City, but files related to flood control probe are safe.
Senate President Tito Soto says Senator Ping Lacson is 100% back as Blue Ribbon Chair.
Return of death penalty for corruption charges needs a thorough study, says Malacanang Palace.
Department of Transportation ensures stable power supply in airports during the Undas exodus.
And U.S. President Donald Trump steps up pressure on Hamas as Gaza ceasefire shaken. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News. Read the details on our broadcast. Amid the flood control project scandal, a fire broke out Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH building reportedly rooted in a computer unit explosion.
However, the agency assures to the public that no important documents related to the investigation were burned. More from this report.
The Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH has assured the public that no documents related to the ongoing flood control project investigation were damaged in the fire that hit one of its buildings on Tuesday. In an official statement, the DPWH clarified that no flood control project files were stored at the Bureau of Research and Standards or BRS, the building affected by the blaze. The agency explained that the BRS is mainly responsible for research, studies, pilot testing, and policy development related to government infrastructure projects and not for safekeeping project documents. Initial investigation by authorities revealed that the fire originated from a computer unit explosion inside the Material Testing Division. The DPWH has already dispatched a special inspection team to assess the extent of the damage and to recommend preventive safety measures to avoid similar incidents. The agency also confirmed that no employees were injured in the fire. According to the Bureau of Fire Protection (NCR), the fire was reported at 12:39 p.m., reaching the third alarm just before 1 o'clock p.m. The incident comes as the DPWH continues to face intense scrutiny over alleged irregularities in its flood control project. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
2 weeks pass after Senator Ping Lacson stepped down as the chairperson of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Just yesterday, Senate President Tito Soto shared that Lacson has once again accepted the committee chairmanship. Mia Layagin has more.
Siyang mga naiwan na dapat ituloy namin. Ika ngay unfinished business sa Blue Ribbon. So
this was the explanation of Senate President Vicente Tito Soto regarding the looming reinstatement of Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson as the chairperson of the Blue Ribbon Committee to once again lead the anomalous flood control projects probe. During the kapihan sa Manila Bay News Forum, Soto once again confirmed the supposed re-election of Lacson for the chairmanship position, which he resigned for 2 weeks ago.
by November 10, we will re-elect or ask Senator Lacson to retake. And as far as our last conversation, and he has agreed. Alam niyang kailangan na.
Soto revealed that Lacson have already heard the sentiments of the members of the Senate who expressed support in Lacson's reinstatement. The Senate President defended as well the direction of the committee's investigation, arguing that the inquiry does not target anyone or any party.
Senator Lacson was being led by the evidence. Kaya doon nagpupunta yung Blue Ribbon na hearing niya at yung mga pronouncements. Kasi yun yung nakikita papeles o nakikita ebidensya. Hindi, walang tinatarget na particular person or particular sector of government. Talagang doon lang napupunta eh. Diba? Ang pinagsimulan nyo, no privilege speech nila.
He also revealed that Lacson may have been frustrated over the misinterpretation of his statements regarding the inquiry, which affected his decision on the resignation.
Frustrated. That was the word. I think
Irritated.
he was frustrated, irritated. But then again, later on, in the course of our talks with the other people, nakita naman niya na kailangan pa rin. Importante pa rin sa Blue Ribbon. Importante na pakinggan niya yung boses ng mga kasama namin at pakinggan niya ang boses ng publiko.
Soto meanwhile did not take it to the heart Lacson's recent statements that his reinstatement in the post may pose a threat to the Senate presidency and to the majority. He otherwise expressed confidence that he will be retained in the post but sees no issue in becoming a regular senator if the chamber pleases.
Well,
Sira-sira.
so be it.
Been there,
Ako
done
naman
that.
been there, done that. Ako'y matagal ng takot, kaya hindi na ako kilala ng takot.
On the other hand, Soto remains committed that the Senate Blue Ribbon's investigation will continue and will not end with the flood control scandal alone.
Ang dami pang mga dapat asikasuhin ng Blue Ribbon. So kung tumatakbo na itong sa flood control issues, meron pa rin issue sa DPWH na hindi lang flood control.
Oh.
At marami sa Visayas, marami sa Mindanao. Marami ring report na binibigay na dumadating. So maraming dapat pang asikasuhin yung Blue Ribbon. Hindi kailangan ma-confine lang sa flood control at saka sa Bulacan lang.
Oh, yes.
This is Miel Ayagin for Eurotv News.
Ahead of formally joining ASEAN next week, Timor-Leste Foreign Minister Bendito dos Santos Prietas met with Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro in Pasay City to deepen bilateral cooperation and expand job opportunities. More from this report.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro and Timor-Leste Foreign Minister Bendito dos Santos Prietas discussed deepening bilateral cooperation between East Timor and the Philippines. Under the bilateral meeting held in Pasay City on Wednesday, the possibility of expanding people-to-people ties and additional job opportunities between the two countries, particularly in the fields of education, administration, entrepreneurship, and engineering, were among the highlights of the state visit. Expanding political exchange is now also included in the bilateral meeting of the two foreign affairs officials. Lazaro also thanked East Timor for hosting about 1,500 Filipinos in the country.
Timor-Leste who hold important positions on the education and service sectors. I express my appreciation to the government for also always ensuring the safety and well-being of the Filipino nationals.
Amidst a more complex issue in security and peace in the Indo-Pacific region, Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro has emphasized the important role of East Timor as a new member of the ASEAN regional bloc.
Timor-Leste's inclusion as a member of ASEAN, it now strengthens regional development, and this will be really very good for the whole Southeast Asian region.
The East Timorese official also expressed support for the Philippines' position on the South China Sea.
To support ASEAN's efforts to promote peace, stability, and freedom of navigation in the region. We reiterate commitments to the 1982 United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea as the legal foundation for resolving maritime disputes.
Foreign Minister and I also exchanged views on key regional issues, and I shared with the Foreign Minister the challenges that the Philippines also face in the West Philippine Sea. It is also important to highlight that our two countries affirm a shared commitment to uphold international law, particularly UNCLOS, which has been demonstrated in our country's use of the compulsory dispute settlement mechanisms.
Next week, East Timor will formally become part of the ASEAN regional bloc. They are the 11th member of the ASEAN, so part of RETA's working visit to Southeast Asian countries is to thank ASEAN members. It was 2002 when Timor-Leste became an independent country from being a province of Indonesia.
important for both sides. So we appreciate very much the role of the Philippines in this whole process of providing us support, guidance towards our full membership. And after the accession to ASEAN full membership, we really expect that we have more closer and a stronger cooperation with Philippines.
Next year, the Philippines will host the ASEAN Summit 2026, where East Timor will be among the delegations.
This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Malacanang Palace stated the return of death penalty for corrupt officials is currently not an option, emphasizing the need for a thorough study and strengthened justice system before considering such a complex idea. Mia Yagin has the report.
Amid the issue of rampant corruption in the country, the Malacanang Palace says that the return of death penalty for corrupt officials is not among the choices right now. In a Wednesday press briefing, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Attorney Claire Castro said that the President is yet to give its position over the matter as this is a complicated idea. She said that there should be a thorough and deep study on whether death penalty should be reimposed in the country as a penalty for guilty of plunder cases.
Dapat pong aralin to dahil hindi lamang po ito bigla-biglang sinasabi na dapat nandiyan ang death penalty. Inaaral mabuti dahil po dapat malinis, mabuti, maging maayos. Itong tinatawag nating 5 pillars of criminal or justice system rather. 5 pillars of justice system.
Castro noted that the justice system in the country should be strengthened and polished further before talks about death penalty be brought up. She added that there is a lot to consider as to avoid having innocent people suffer from unfair consequences.
Ebidensya. Paano kung ang inosente ay nagawa ng intriga at naplantahan ng ebidensya? Death penalty ang maaaring ipataw. Kawawa naman po yung masasabi nating inosente.
The concern over reimposing of death penalty arise following investigation of anomalous infrastructure projects and corruption issues in the country. This is Mia Yagin for Eurotv News.
In preparation for the holiday exodus, the Department of Transportation or DOTR is ensuring that the primary airport will have a stable power supply, aiming to prevent the incident that occurred on New Year's Day 2023. The transportation chief has instructed the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or CAAP to implement measures for necessary repairs. Here's the report.
Transportation Acting Secretary Giovanni Lopez personally inspected the Air Traffic Management Center or ATMC of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or CAAP on Tuesday ahead of the national travel rush for UNDAS 2025. Secretary Lopez said the inspection aims to ensure smooth and uninterrupted flight operations during the holiday period as thousands of Filipinos are expected to return to their provinces. He recalled the technical glitch that disrupted flights at Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA on January 1, 2023, causing massive delays to passengers. Lopez has directed CAAP to implement critical measures to repair and upgrade the ATMZ system. During the inspection, the transportation chief confirmed that CAAP has already taken several steps to prevent any redundancy or system failure within its communication, navigation, and surveillance or air traffic management or CNS ATM systems. CAAP also procured uninterrupted power supply or UPS units for its CNS ATM facilities to prevent power-related disruptions. It can be recalled that on January 1, 2023, a blackout at the country's main airport paralyzed ATMC operations, disrupting communication, radar, and internet systems, affecting all inbound, outbound, and overflight traffic within Philippine airspace. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Department of Labor and Employment reminded employers that workers reporting on the special non-working days of October 31 night shift and November 1 are entitled to a minimum of 30% premium on their daily wage. More from Vanessa Cleophas.
The Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE reminded employers that workers who report to work during the first 8 hours of their shift on the night of October 31, All Saints Day, and November 1 are entitled to receive an additional 30% on their daily wage. Employees who render overtime work on these dates are also entitled to an extra 30% hourly rate for the overtime hours. Furthermore, employees whose rest days fall on these dates and still report to work are entitled to an additional 50% on top of their regular daily wage. According to DOLE, employers are required to strictly comply with this rule based on the labor advisory issued by the agency. These dates are classified as special non-working days, which means employees who do not report for work are not entitled to pay for those days unless a company has a collective bargaining agreement or CBA that states otherwise. Meanwhile, DOLE has also issued an early reminder that Bonifacio Day on November 30 is a regular holiday, which means employees are entitled to receive 100% of their daily wage whether they report to work or are on paid leave on the day before the holiday. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
To mitigate severe holiday traffic, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA and Metro Manila Mall operators agreed to adjust weekday shopping hours to 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. starting on November 17. Details from Vanessa Cleofas.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA and mall operators across Metro Manila agreed to implement adjusted shopping mall hours from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays only starting November 17. Saturdays and Sundays are not covered by the adjustment, meaning malls will follow the regular operating hours during weekends and holidays. According to the MMDA, this measure is part of their preparations for the holiday rush as the Christmas season approaches. The agency emphasized that every November, as the Christmas season draws near, the number of mall goers in Metro Manila increases significantly, which greatly contributes to heavy traffic congestion. MMDA Chairman Attorney Don Artes appeals to mall operators not to schedule mall sales simultaneously, especially since the entire NCR is surrounded by over 131 malls, 29 of which are located near EDSA. Artes added that if holding simultaneous mall-wide sales cannot be avoided, they should inform the agency in advance so that appropriate traffic mitigating measures can be implemented. The agency said they are working to prevent Metro Manila from turning into a massive parking lot due to excessive vehicle congestion. It may be recalled that the agency earlier ordered malls to submit their schedule of mall sales and promotional events at least 2 weeks in advance to allow enough time for planning and coordination. Mall stores and outlets are still allowed to hold individual sales provided these are not publicly announced and no advertisement or tarpaulins are posted prior to the weekend. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
The Quezon City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office has conducted a walk the fault activity to mark and identify areas in 9 barangays directly traversed by the West Valley Fault as part of preparations for the potential Big One earthquake. More from Catherine Landicho.
As part of ongoing preparations for the threat of major earthquake in Metro Manila, the Quezon City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office conducted a walk the fault activity to identify and mark areas in the city traversed by the West Valley Fault. The West Valley Fault is considered a potential source of the so-called the Big One, a destructive earthquake that could reportedly reach a magnitude of 7.2. To prepare for this possibility, engineers from the City Engineering Department and experts from the Department of Building Official joined QCDRRMO in inspecting roads and buildings that may be affected by the fault line. Authorities installed markers in areas directly crossed by the fault to serve as a warning and guidelines for residents and local officials. Among the barangays in Quezon City, identified as being along the West Valley Fault are Bagong Silangan, Batasan Hills, Matandang Balara, Pansol, Blue Ridge B, Lipis, Bagong Bayan, White Plains, and Ukong Norte. The QCDRRMO continues to call on all residents, especially those living along the fault line, to participate in earthquake drills, create emergency plans, and stay prepared for the possibility of major earthquake. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
3 areas were placed under signal number 1 due to Tropical Depression Salome, which was last seen in the area near Itbayat, Batanes. Here's the details for the weather update.
State Weather Bureau Pag-asa several tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 as Tropical Depression Salome moves closer to Batanes. As of Tuesday noon, Batanes, the western portion of Babuyan Islands, particularly Calayan Island and the Lupiri Island, are now under signal number 1. The tropical depression is also expected to affect the northern part of Ilocos Norte, especially the municipalities of Bangui, Pagudpod, Burgos, Pasukin, Bacara, and Lawag City. At 10 o'clock a.m., Salome was last spotted 255 kilometers northeast of Itbayat, Batanes, packing maximum sustained winds of 55 km per hour and gusts of up to 70 km per hour. According to Pag-asa, the tropical depression may landfall in Batanes by Wednesday morning before gradually weakened by Friday. However, the Weather Bureau did not rule out the possibility of Salome intensifying into a tropical storm before landfall. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Bureau of Customs has confiscated 13 million pesos of smuggled agricultural products at Manila Port. Authorities revealed that the products came from China. Henry Nicolas has the report.
The Bureau of Customs through the Port of Manila intercepted the 3 40-foot containers of misdeclared fresh carrots from China, uncovering over 13.2 million pesos worth of illicit agricultural goods. The shipment arrived on October 2 and an alert order was issued on October 8. After the alert, monitoring unit received a derogatory report. This prompted a full examination conducted on October 17. According to BOC Assistant Commissioner Vincent Marunilla, those involved were not only trying to avoid the duties and taxes but also the inspection of the vegetables, which are suspected of containing chemicals to prolong their shelf life.
Carrots, yun ang aming titingnan ngayon, no? Dahil ito ay hindi dumaan sa pagsusuri ng Department of Agriculture, maaaring kargado to ng kung anumang chemical para mapahaba yung kanyang lifespan.
The monitoring unit of the agency reportedly suspected the shipment, which is why it was subjected to a physical examination revealing a rotten carrots totaling 53.283 kilograms. The weight of the shipment was also a factor and considered as a red flag, as it was declared as storage boxes and napkins originated from China. As the holiday season approaches, the agency has reportedly intensifying its border protection measures.
Bare months yun talaga ang aming priority, no? Food items, agricultural products, processed food na walang mga permits. Kasi yun talaga yung mabenta at yun yung very profitable ngayong mga panahon na to. So magsisimula akong dumating yan. Usually, magsisimula na magparating yan mga ng August hanggang buong bare months. So nag-a-attempt na magparating yung both legal and mga nag-a-attempt na mag-smuggle ng mga agricultural and mga food products.
The rotten agri-products were now subjected for destruction and can no longer be used. The BOC also emphasized that this type of smuggling has a huge impact on the livelihood of local farmers and the integrity of lawful trade. Cases are now being prepared against those behind the smuggling, including violations of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act, as well as the filing of charges for violation of the Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act, which is non-bailable and carries a penalty of life imprisonment should those involved be proven guilty. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
The Philippine National Railways or PNR will launch a new faster commuter train service between Naga and Lupi Viejo in Camarines Sur on November 5, offering 3 daily trips with fare ranging from 15 pesos to 75 pesos. Catherine Landicho returns for the details.
More passengers will soon be able to ride the trains of the Philippine National Railways or PNR with the upcoming launch of the Naga to Lupi Viejo route in Camarines Sur starting on November 5. This additional route is in response to the directive of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and Department of Transportation's or DOTR Acting Secretary Giovanni Lopez to expedite the rehabilitations of the PNR tracks and stations aiming to restore full rail service from Camarines Sur to Quezon as soon as possible. According to PNR General Manager Giovanni Miranda, commuters can expect a more comfortable and faster journey by the train. The travel time will take approximately 1 hour and 39 minutes, which is quicker compared to the nearly 2 hours by the other modes of transportation. The PNR will board and drop off passengers at the following stations at Lupi Viejo, Sipocot, Libmanan, Pamplona, and Naga, and at the following flag stop at Lupi Nuevo, Tapi, Malagpico, Azucena, Awayan, Mantalisay, Cambugan, Rongos, Malansat, Mambulo, Borabod, and Sampaloc. There will be 3 train trips daily for the route Naga to Lupi Viejo at 4:29 a.m. to 9:49 a.m. and 3:14 p.m. to Lupi Viejo to Naga, 6:23 a.m. to 11:43 a.m. and 5 p.m. The regular fare from Naga to Lupi Viejo will range from 15 pesos up to 75 pesos. Discounted fares will apply for the students, person with disabilities or PWDs, and senior citizen who present valid IDs ranging from 12 pesos to 60 pesos. As the reopening of the route approached, GM Miranda urged the public to cooperate and comply with the PNR's strict safety protocols to ensure safe train operations in the region. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The annual Tarlac Art Fair has returned for its third year, filing the province with a diverse range of vibrant paintings, modern masterpieces, and indigenous craft from Tarlac and across the Luzon until the end of October. Shai Morales has more.
Modern masterpieces. Visitors also enjoyed a free Colitan calligraphy session or an indigenous writing system in Pampanga by Joshua Tolentino, the director of the Vision Doers Art Collective. Meanwhile, artist Mars Aglipay of Mars Today Studio showcased her printed artworks that highlight the art of printmaking in the Philippines. Tarlac Governor Christian Telyap also visited the Likha ng Tarlac exhibit during the opening of the event, where a family from the Abilian tribe of Iba San Jose Tarlac showcased their cabin weaving designs made from buho or schizo style, and the creativity and colors does not end there. More colorful and inspiring artworks from Tarlac and the rest of Luzon are waiting to be discovered at the Tarlac Art Fair, which runs until the end of October. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
U.S. President Donald Trump demanded the militant group Hamas disarm as part of the U.S. peace plan's second phase, warning the fast, furious, and brutal force, a message reiterated by Vice President J.D. Vance during his visit to Israel. Son Santiago has more.
U.S. Trump's group Hamas to give up its weapons as part of the second phase of the U.S. peace plan in Gaza. In a post on his Truth Social account, Trump warned that Hamas would face fast, furious, and brutal force if it refuses to disarm, a second phase requirement under his 20-point U.S. peace framework. However, Hamas has long been rejecting that demand. This warning comes after a weekend of renewed clashes between Israel and Hamas, with both sides set to violate the ceasefire deal. Over the weekend, Israel claims Hamas fighters fired towards its troops, leading them to retaliate that killed several civilians in Gaza, although they said they only targeted Hamas and its equipments. Both parties, however, clarified that they still upholding the deal. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, meanwhile, arrived in Israel on Tuesday to visit the Civil Military Cooperation Center, a project led by the U.S. and Israel to help reconstruct Gaza. During his speech, Vance said that despite tensions, the ceasefire is going better, crediting the combined efforts of the U.S. and Israel.
President Trump's historic peace plan in the Middle East, and things are going, frankly, better than I expected that they would. Civilian Military Cooperation Center, which we are announcing the opening of. You have Israelis and Americans working hand in hand to try to begin the plan to rebuild Gaza, to implement a long-term peace.
He also reiterated Washington's call for Hamas to lay down its arms, warning that failure to cooperate could lead to obliteration, echoing Trump's statement.
And as the President of the United States has said, Hamas is going to be obliterated. Steve, do you want to add?
Vance also added that the visit is to prioritize first in improving humanitarian conditions in Gaza, before establishing a steady long-term government in Gaza, also a part of the U.S. peace plan.
so cool, what's so amazing about what these guys have done is that we're creating a governance structure that is very flexible to what happens on the ground in the future. We need to reconstitute, rebuilding, giving people some food and medicine. If we get to the point where we're arguing exactly what the governance structure in Gaza is long term, then we should pat ourselves on the back. That's a very good problem.
On the other hand, he clarified that the U.S. will not deploy American troops in Gaza, but only provide support through coordination.
On the ground in Gaza. The President of the United States has made that very clear. All of our military leadership has made that very clear. What we can do is provide some useful coordination. How do you take...
Vance is set to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, pushing further both sides to move forward with the next phase of the ceasefire deal. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
For sports news, World Memory Championship 2025 is set to be held this November 2025. Meanwhile, Filipina tennis player Alex Ayala fell short in Guangzhou Open. Kyle Basa has the sports news.
The World Memory Championships take place every year, wherein this competition challenges how sharp the players' memories are. The foundation of these games is the mind, which is considered one of the most important body parts of a human. There will be 10 different games in which whoever has the highest score will be the winner, or so-called the Grand Master. The competition will be from November 7 to November 9. At the age of 49 years old, Robert Memoryman Recasa is the representative of the Philippines. He will be in the adult bracket, which he will be his 8th time competing in the World Memory Championships. With that, he is also considered one of the players who had many exposures in the competition. One of his hobbies is to read, as he believes that the brain must have activities for it to keep being productive.
Ang bisyo is magbasa. Kaya pagka magkasama kami ng wife ko minsan sa mall, alam na niya kung saan niya ako hanapin sa bookstore. Kasi doon lang ako tumatambay. Kailangan yung brain natin, lagi natin pinapractice, lagi natin pinipikil. Anything na hindi mo ginagamit is subject to law of atrophy na mag-ano yan, mag-fade. The same thing with the brain, kapag hindi mo siya literally ginamit, mag-fade.
He set an example on how he practices for the upcoming competition. In the interview, the number 450 is the example, and he showed how he memorizes the number.
Ang meaning sa akin ng 450 is diaper. Pag tinanong mo kung bakit diaper, it's because yung number 4, equivalent niya sa letters alphabet, letter D, diba? Tapos yung number 5 in the middle, yung sound niya, 5, diba? 5, so AY yung sound. Connect ko yung letter D dun sa AY, so magiging die. Tapos yung number 0, parang yung shape niya 0, yung letter T, di ba may 0 sa taas? Kaya yung 0, ang equivalent ng letter T. Kaya ang basa dun sa 450 o 450 is die. Para magkaroon ng image yun, ang potential na image na pwede makita, first.
Before going to his golden years, he advocates for the old generation to take care of their brains, and the excuse of being one for not taking care of it is invalid.
There is no such thing as full memory, only untrained one. Kaya ginagawa ko rin yung example para maging inspiration yung sa mga nagko-complain na mahina na yung memory na makikita nila, ay ito nga, 50 na, lumabas pa sa World Championship at nakuha pa yung Grandmaster title. God willing, makuha natin yung Grandmaster title para maging inspiration sa Pilipinas and magkakaroon ng pag-asa yung mga senior citizen na yung memory nila hindi mapurol. Hindi, meron lang silang mga effective na dapat na ginagawa na hindi nila nagagawa.
Robert Recasa was the first Filipino representative in the World Memory Championships back in 2010. He did not yet claim the Grand Master title, but he coached some Filipino representatives and claimed it. It was Mark Anthony P. Castañeda back in 2011, Erwin G. Balines in 2012, and Johan Randall P. Abrina in 2013. He was not bothered that his students succeeded in claiming the Grand Master title before him. Instead, he was encouraged that he already did his job as a coach for his students to succeed.
Yun ang papel ng isang teacher, yeah, you show the way sa mga estudyante mo.
Robert Rocasa also encouraged the future representatives of the Philippines in the World Memory Championships to have sheer determination to learn and to be taught.
Ang kailangan na lang nila is yung sheer determination. Kasi hindi na bibili yan, hindi na iuutos yan eh. Talagang nagsisimula yun sa tao, yung intrinsic factor na talagang gusto niyang gumaling, gusto niyang mag-excel, gusto niyang makakontribute sa karangalan ng bansa, nagsisimula yun sa tao mismo. Kami mga coaches, nag-guide lang kami to fulfill your potential. Pero yung player mismo, dapat sa kanya nagmumula yung aspiration ay yung burning desire na maging representative ng Philippines.
Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala lost to her first game in the round 1 of WTA 250 in Guangzhou Open yesterday, October 21. It is against American foe Claire Liu, wherein it was considered a nail-biting game. In the matchup, Pinoy fans are somehow confident as they all thought Ayala already got this game by winning the first set. But it turned into a comeback game for Claire Liu and won the 2 remaining sets. The final scores of the match are 6-2, 4-6, and 4-6. Ayala will now participate in the doubles event, where she will be teaming up with Nadia Kichenok against Emily Appleton and Kian Hui Tang. Just before Ayala's match against Liu, her world ranking rose to world rank number 53. This is Kyle Basa, reporting for Eurotv News.
And for entertainment news, Catherine Bernardo will have her own Madame Tussauds wax figure. More details from Sam Martos.
Let's step into the world of entertainment for our showbiz news. It's confirmed actress and Asia superstar Catherine Bernardo is getting her Madame Tussauds wax figure next year. It's official. Asia superstar Catherine Bernardo is confirmed to have her very own wax figure at Madame Tussauds in Hong Kong. The announcement was shared on Madame Tussauds' social media, where a photo of the actress was also shown. In Catherine's statement, she expressed that having a wax figure is a huge honor, as only a select few are chosen for this. She said that the news that she received still has not sunk until now, which she said will also be considered an honor for the Philippines.
Truly an honor, and I'm just very, very grateful. I got to experience all the whole process.
Catherine is the youngest artist to have a Madame Tussauds, where Pia Wurtzbach, Catriona Gray, Lea Salonga, Ann Curtis, and many others have already been there. Meanwhile, the wax figure of actress Catherine Bernardo will be released next year. And that's our entertainment news. Once again, I'm Sam Martos. Back to you, KRIZZA and ALVIN.
Thanks, Sam Martos. And that's latest news for tonight. You may visit Eurotv.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinextreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.